Hey friends, welcome back to Live at the Roxy. How long can she hold it for? We will see. A lot going on in the world today, in the world of entertainment, in the world of politics, in the world of rocks. That's me, I'm she. The VMAs happened last night, so we'll be discussing that. Full disclosure, didn't watch the whole thing, but did see some highlights. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are in the same boat, so we can break that down. Also, finally, I feel like I can talk really about the Jericho Smith match. Don't worry, I won't do that till the end of the show. So if you haven't seen it yet, I know the spoiler ban is up, but I'll wait a little bit to talk about that. And I want to take you guys' questions there as well. There's a new Trump advisor he's a pandemic advisor who's pushing this very controversial strategy called herd immunity that we will be breaking down. Yikes, yikes, yikes. And also I wanted to look at the upcoming TV slate for the fall. Shit to look forward to. It's all about finding shit to look forward to. And I feel like right now we don't set enough stuff for us to look forward to, like benchmarks. We need that shit, especially during quarantine. Plus a Roxy advice corner and whatever things you guys have going on in the Super Chat and the Streamlabs. Also, I have 2 auditions today. So I will be straightening my hair during the show. Have you ever seen me straighten my hair? Have you ever seen anybody straighten their hair? Have you ever straightened anybody's hair? Have you straightened your hair? It's the things that we're getting down to, the bottom of it today here live at the Roxy. All right, so let's get into it. Before we do, guys, Brett Hankinson, Miles Cosgrove, Jonathan Mattingly arrest the cops that murdered Breonna Taylor. We're just going to keep fucking talking about it. I think we're on day 40 of this show saying it, which is insane in the membrane. But yeah, we will just keep discussing it for as long as we fucking need, because apparently we have not made those arrests yet. So way to go, society. That's how I feel. That's how I fucking feel about that. I know we spend longer on it on some shows, but today we'll just leave it at that, unless you guys have more things to say on Breonna Taylor, and then I'm always happy to take those comments. Let's go into the Streamlabs before we take actual before we go into the actual news. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Let's see, Glenn Caesar in here. Shout out to Glenn, who said, hello, Roxy. Love ya. As always, thanks for hanging out with us today. I hope you and the Rockstars band have a happy, sunny, and fuck yeah, news-filled rest of your week. Bunnies to you all. Hashtag Rockstars band for the win. Peace, love, and hugs. Congrats to Niecy Nash on her wedding, too. A lot of engagements. A lot of weddings, a lot of babies, a lot of alone Roxy. I'm sure a lot of you guys feel about that. That same way as well. My hair is getting long. It is getting long. I didn't even see that she was married. That's how many people are celebrating love during this time. There's that. So there's that. Matt Munoz says it's your own fault. Be nice, Matt. What the fuck? It's already hot in here, so putting this heat to me will be a bitch, but we'll do it anyway. Who watched the VMAs last night, or portions of the VMAs? Send bunnies if you checked out the VMAs, the Video Music Awards. Just curious. It was really interesting the way they put it together. A lot of the looks were shot days in advance and on the carpet days in advance. That was kind of wild. They're all just trying to figure that shit out right now. Like, you know, we saw DC Fandom do an incredible job of figuring out or navigating quarantine and how to do video coverage and announcements during quarantine. And I thought that the VMAs in general did a decent job last night. Again, I didn't watch the whole thing, but from what I saw, the performances were pretty dope. How the fuck did Ariana Grande and Lady Gaga perform like that in masks? I mean, I tweeted about this, but no joke. Everybody who bitches about wearing a mask to the grocery store, like, these motherfuckers were hitting the high notes. They were dancing their face off. I don't know what Lady Gaga's dance move was, but probably she was just twerking it out because bitch won everything. I didn't even realize this was a big year for Lady Gaga, and she won everything. she just kept on winning and just slaying. I mean, don't get me wrong, nothing against Lady Gaga. I like Lady Gaga a lot. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, was this really your year? Was this your year to slay? I don't feel like 2020 was a Lady Gaga in particular year, but it is what it is. Also, a lot of Chadwick Boseman tributes. I love Kiki Palmer, and Kiki did let me put this over here while I'm turning my head. And Kiki did a tribute to him and also talked about BLM and social justice. And then MTV put together a whole montage that they aired of him, which was really cool. Cool's the wrong word. Again, guys, I don't even know what the right words are to talk about this situation because it's so fucking upsetting, but we all miss him greatly. And I was glad that they acknowledged, and not just acknowledged once, but multiple times. And a lot of speeches had to do with him and whatnot. So I hope that you guys appreciated that as much as I did. Other than that, okay, VMAs. I mean, do your thing. There's some wild fashion. Machine Gun Kelly in that pink outfit. Did you guys see that shit? That was kind of wild. And I was okay with it. I fully embraced and acknowledged that I am a rock and roll fan. I'm a fan of music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. And it's not like I'm like, the music today sucks. I just don't know as much about it, and it's not as much for me. So the VMAs really like kind of aren't for me, I guess, which is a weird thing to say, but it's just not a Roxy award show, as opposed to current day movies and TV shows, which you guys know I'm like super up to date on and always watching and adoring. So it's just really not my thing, chicken wang. But you guys, if you loved the VMAs, please leave in the comments, super chat, stream live. Let me know what your favorite performances were. What was the best part? What was the worst part? What was the biggest upset? All that stuff. It's like I don't even know enough about music today to know what the biggest upsets were. Going into the super chat, thank you to Glenn Caesar. Says congrats on the 2 auditions, RJ. I'm sure he'll crush both of them. And yeah, I think you've straightened your hair on stream on Thanksgiving 2019. Did I straighten it or did I curl it? I don't often straighten. And during quarantine, I like never put any heat to my hair, as I've been trying to let it, because I bleached the fuck out of it. I've been trying to let it heal. And so it's been nice to not. This is like the 4th time during all of quarantine that I've done my hair, as opposed to when we are out in the real world and I'm on set all the time. I do my hair 7 days a week, take heat to it. So it's feeling much better. Salons are open and then they're closed and they're open and they're closed. I can't keep up with the situation in Los Angeles. It's kind of wild. Be careful doing what you're doing. You'll burn your hair, love, says Lewis Cox. What do you mean? I got my protection spray on here. I'm going to do me. All right. So moving on from the VMAs, unless you guys have anything else to say on that, which frankly, I just really don't. Is that bad? I don't care that much about the VMAs. I guess nothing's bad, right? It's just a preference. And it's not like I'm shitting on them. Let's talk a little bit about the new Trump pandemic advisor. Should we talk about this? Herd immunity. I mean, just by the name of it alone, guys, how do you feel about somebody pushing a herd immunity? Like, sounds like we're a bunch of fucking sheep. There was a lot of articles that broke this down. Let's go with the Washington Post, but if you have a different site that you prefer, you're welcome to look at that instead. This article said, what is herd immunity and why are Trump officials pursuing an idea who calls dangerous? The World Health Organization. Trump administration officials are starting to implement policies that suggest a herd immunity strategy, a controversial approach that involves deliberately allowing the coronavirus to spread to build up population resistance more quickly while protecting the most vulnerable. In theory, as the number of survivors with immunity increases to a certain level, the virus's spread would slow and eventually stop. The only problem, a whole lot of people would die before that point. At a news briefing last week, World Health Organization officials called pursuing such a herd immunity strategy very dangerous. This was the quote from Maria Van Kerkhove, who's technical lead on the COVID-19 pandemic. She said, if we think about herd immunity in a natural sense of letting a virus run, it's very dangerous. A lot of people would die. Suma Swaminathan, who's chief scientist, said focusing on controlling transmission through public health measures while scientists develop vaccines should be the primary strategy. She also pointed out that there hasn't really been any infectious disease that has been controlled just by allowing natural immunity to happen. The UK pursued such a strategy early on, but abandoned it when officials saw the consequences. Sweden, which pursued a similar strategy, has been heavily criticized by public officials and infectious disease experts as reckless. And the country has among the highest infection and death rates in the world. But the idea of herd immunity continues to get attention in some quarters. Conservative television host Laura Ingraham has tweeted that pursuing herd immunity was the only practical way forward. So how exactly would the herd immunity work? That's what the next part of this article describes. Because at this point, if you're like me, you're sitting there thinking like, why the fuck would anybody think this is a good idea? Why the fuck, like, even call it something else. God damn it, guys. But okay, herd immunity occurs when enough people become immune to a disease that the virus has trouble transmitting to a new host and can eventually stop. The two main ways to reach herd immunity are through natural immunity, when you get the virus and your body develops antibodies that protect it from future infection, or through vaccinations. Depending on the virus, there's a certain percentage of population that needs to achieve immunity before herd immunity can be reached, called the herd immunity threshold. For example, measles, an especially contagious disease, slows down only after about 95% of people become immune. It remains unclear how large a portion of the population must become infected with the new coronavirus to reach that threshold. Estimates have ranged from 20% to 80%. I mean, that is like a massive difference, guys. 20% to 80%. Like, if 80% of people have to become immune, think about how many fucking people that is. As scientists have learned more about the virus, some have narrowed their estimates between 40 and 70%. Still very large. Swaminathan said that given the coronavirus transmittability, it is likely about 65 to 70% of the population would need to become infected for there to be a herd immunity. Getting to such a threshold would take a very long time, she said, noting that seroprevalence surveys that measure people's antibodies to the virus show that on average, only 5 to 10% of people around the world have them. That percentage is higher in some cities, such as New York City, where they have been infected. So you guys you're getting the gist of this right now. Why is pursuing a herd immunity strategy deadly business? Proponents of herd immunity talk of segregating and thereby protecting seniors, nursing home residents, and others more likely to die from the virus while allowing the virus to spread among the young. But growing evidence shows that young people who work outside the home or who surged into bars and restaurants when states relaxed shutdowns are infecting their more vulnerable elders, especially family members. Yeah, of course, because that's who they go home to, guys. Such a strategy is also complicated in the United States by the fact that a larger portion of the young and middle-aged people have higher rates than elsewhere of obesity, heart and lung disease, and other health issues that make them more likely to have serious or lethal cases of the disease. So how many people would die before a population can reach immunity? With a population of 328 million in the United States, it may require more than 2 million deaths to reach 65% threshold. So, like, are you guys saying that honestly 2 million people should die so that we can get back to our lives? Like, we are going to find a vaccine. It is going to work. We have to believe in science, and it's going to take how long it takes. We can't just, right now, we've had 200,000 people die almost in the United States. You think we should sign off to 2 million fucking people dying? Why? Why the fuck would we do that? That's psychotic shit. And we don't want a leader suggesting we should do that. And we don't want advisors to the leader suggesting we should do that. That's fucking scary that people legitimately think that this is an option in the United States. So fucked up. So I wonder if you guys feel the same way. Looking at the chat right now, it seems like a lot of you do. Just shitty. No person should die so others can survive. Yeah, because it's not the fucking 1400s. Like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Oh my God, you guys complimenting my hair, making me feel really good. Robert says, seriously, what the fuck? Zeno R says, vote blue this November. Yeah, I mean, this is something that Biden for sure would not even consider. I mean, he will do some other annoying things, but not this. Not like, okay, should we kill 2 million people so that the rest can live? Be honest. Because economy. Like, our economy's fucked. It's going to be in the toilet for a minute. But we don't risk murdering 2 million people so that that's not the case. Like, what lack of civilized society would that mean? That we would rather people not lose their money than people lose their lives. Year of the dumpster fires, as MK Songbird. Straight up, homie, straight up. Yeah, okay. No, sounds like Watchmen, says Weston. I mean, it does have some Watchmen tendencies to it, I will admit. Fox herd mentality would buy into a herd immunity. Let's go into this Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. What are you guys saying in here? Gingerbread said, I think the Bateman Guy match. Okay, so this is unrelated. Let's see. Well, okay, I'll read that in a little bit, Gingerbread, when we're talking about the matches. Glenn Caesar said, yeah, Roxy, maybe it was that you curled your hair rather than straightened it last Thanksgiving. I just remember seeing you do your hair and makeup. My memory was slightly off. Forgive me. I'm still kind of high and spacey from my earlier meditation. Glenn, no worries. Makes total sense. I might have straightened it. You might be right. I just kind of think that I curled it, but you never know. Maybe the rest of you guys know. Also, it doesn't really make a difference. Who the F cares? Who cares? Okay, what are we talking about? Steph Sabra? Let's see. Oh my God! Guys! She's not with me, but she's always with me. Steph had to leave today because Steph is editing something sick for her YouTube channel right now. I believe, she's going to get mad at me right now. I believe that it's going to drop tomorrow. I think it's going to drop tomorrow. The pressure's on now. Le pressure is on. That's not any language. It's just English with an accent. But she's doing more political content on her channel. So you're going to want to check that out. Steph, don't yell at me for outing you, saying that you're going to have something up on your channel tomorrow. I want her channel to be huge. I want Doreena's channel to be huge. And I want my channel to be huge so that we can just keep growing the World Girls channel bigger and bigger. She says pressure. Yeah, it's on like Donkey Kong. Thanks, guys. All the compliments about my hair. I never really do straighten it. It's because you can see my roots like fucking crazy. I was talking to Steph last night also about the fact that I really want like a straight up widow's peak. And I always have this little chunk here that's like missing. How do I do that? Is there surgery that I can do for free? Yeah. All right. Moving forward, guys. I think this herd mentality thing is a big bullshit, really bad idea. I can't believe that anybody would believe that in order to save some lives, we should murder 2 million people. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't work for me. It shouldn't work for anybody else. I'm not a scientist, but I do know how to listen to scientists. And it seems to me like educated scientists are telling us, this isn't even close to an option. Like, you think this is an option? This is not a fucking option. So I'm going to listen to them because I hear you and I don't know how to be a scientist. So there's that aspect to it. All right, let's move forward. I'm going to be talking about the match and I'm going to be doing an advice corner. But before we do that, let's look at some upcoming TV shows. I was really excited to see that The Boys is coming back in, I believe, 4 days on Amazon, season 2. Really excited for this one. Steph and I'm rewatching. Steph's for the first time watching The Boys right now. The show is so good and jaw-dropping and just like, what the fuck is even happening here? I can't recommend it enough, especially if you are a superhero fan. But this is like, what if superheroes weren't necessarily the good guys kind of spin. And it's really great. Highly recommend it. So yeah, that was what kind of sparked this. I was like, wow, damn, The Boys coming back. Fall TV, is this really a thing? What's happening here? It hadn't even really crossed my mind that we'd be getting fall TV. So I started looking at all the other things that are coming back. If you're a reality fan, The Bachelorette starting October 13th. I'm pretty excited about that. Also Dancing with the Stars on September 14th. For me, I'm really looking forward to This Is Us, which is November 10th. When did they shoot that? How did they shoot that? How much could they possibly have in the can? That's kind of confusing to me, but it's exciting nonetheless. Really stoked on that. There's also, for the reality TV people, Love Island for sure. Big Brother is currently on. The Crown is coming November 15th, which is exciting. Fargo, September 27th. I mean, we got some really good TV that's coming up. Let me know, guys, by the way, what shows you're looking forward to the most. We also have some new TV shows coming. Some of them that I wrote down that looked interesting to me as I was looking up for this show. Have you guys heard yet of the show called Woke? I hadn't even heard of this series, but there's a show called Woke. It's starring Lamorne Morris, who is one of the stars of New Girl. And it looks great. It says Keith is an African-American cartoonist on the verge of mainstream success when an unexpected incident changes his life. I was kind of in on that. Sounds exciting to me. Also, there was a show called Away. Have you guys heard about this one at all yet? Away is a show that is with Hilary Swank. And it's starting, I think it's September 4th, which is in a few days. It's going to be on Netflix. This looked interesting. An American astronaut struggles with leaving her husband and daughter behind to embark on a dangerous mission with an international space crew. I was like, wow, I haven't seen shit about this. Isn't it crazy that you could have Hilary Swank in your show and I don't even know what it is? Then there was a show called We Are Who We Are that looked kind of interesting to me as well. Two American teenagers come of age while living on an American military base in Italy. This is going to be an HBO show. I was kind of sold on this too. I was looking at that. I think this one is coming September 14th. Cool. On September 25th, there is going to be a show called A Wilderness. I know I'm all over the place right now, guys, but these were all the things that I was looking up that I was like, what the hell is all this stuff? A Wilderness of Error, which examines the evidence in the case against McDonald, who was convicted in 1979 of murdering his pregnant wife and two daughters. A Green Beret physician, McDonald claimed that the murders were committed by drug-crazed hippies. Wild, right? Wild. September 25th. Unbelievable. So much stuff is coming our way that I was like, what is all this? What is all of this? What are you guys looking forward to? I'm looking in the chat of you guys right now. There's more. There's even more. If you like American Ninja Warrior, that's back September 7th. I wonder how they're shooting that. Star Trek Discovery on October 15th. Interesting as well. Raised by Wolves is coming up, which I'm excited about. I don't know if you guys, again, there's no billboard. We're not driving around as much, so I don't know what people know about what and who and how and when. Raised by Wolves had that creepy ass fucking trailer. Androids are tasked with raising human children on a mysterious planet. This is an HBO Max show that looks pretty freaking wild. Creeped me the F out. The Right Stuff. That is coming on October 9th, which seems like it's far away, but it will be right around the corner. U.S. fighter pilots are recruited to test experimental aircrafts and rockets to become the first Mercury astronauts. It's a TV adaptation of Tom Wolfe's book, The Right Stuff, and it's going to be on Disney+. So these are some things to be looking forward to, some things on our radar, some things that we're excited about. Yeah, you guys are talking about Walking Dead. Absolutely. Mandalorian season 2. I'm stoked about that as well. The World Beyond for Walking Dead. Yeah. The Boys season 2, that's what I started with. Yes. I haven't watched Lucifer season 5, so that's dropped, but I'm excited about that. Yeah, a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. I can go down this list and read some more that are expected to come back fall too, just so everybody know. Grey's Anatomy, Million Little Things, Masked Singer, American Horror Story, The Voice. If you're a wrestling fan, obviously that's been here still. Amazing Race, The Haunting of Bly Manor, which is the spinoff of Haunting of Hill House, I believe. Moonbase 8, which I think is that John C. Reilly comedy about the moon. Selena, the series, which I'm fucking stoked about. Yeah, so much stuff. Wasn't expecting that. Wonder if you guys are also just like, what? How are they all doing this? And I have friends who've been filming, but so many of these shows that I have friends on, they stopped filming. So it's like, when did you do this? Did you have this in the can before? How did this come to be? Give me all the news. Let me know. Let me know. Yeah, the Chicago shows, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Chicago Med, all of those are coming back this fall. As the shows get closer, we can keep each other informed so none of us miss anything, because like I said, it's not like Billboard season or show season in which we're watching a ton of commercials and we're seeing all this stuff. It's really word of mouth right now. Lovecraft County, I haven't watched it yet. I hear it's really excellent. Would love to hear you guys' thoughts on it. The Stand with my girl Kat McNamara, Stormy Woods. The Stand looked scary as fuck too, right? That's that one. Selena series. Yeah, Pink Sweets. We got to remind each other so that we all know. We're all staying in the loop. All right, so those are some of the shows this fall. If you're watching this after the fact, leave in the comments the shows that you're most excited about. Let us know. Keep us informed. All that good stuff. Also, feel free to Super Chat, Streamlab, everything there. While you're doing that, let me move forward to talking about the match. Are you guys ready to hear about the Chris Jericho, Kevin Smith match? Is it okay to talk about that right now? There will be spoilers. I will just speak about it. I'll also talk about the Ben Drew match only because of that super chat that just came in. And then we'll move on to Chris Jericho and Kevin Smith. Send bunnies if you're cool with us talking about this right now. I'm going to start with the super chat. the Streamlabs that came in from Gingerbread saying, I think the Bateman Guy match was really tough to watch. And it was the first time I ever felt a competitor threw a match for the sake of character. I tried introducing my friend to MTS with this match and it confused them. What did you think, Rox? I think that I love character development in the Schmoedown. I have a huge obsession with characters. I also think that Andrew Guy is one of the best performers that the Schmoedown has ever seen. I think he's a phenomenal performer. I think he's an incredible actor. We've worked together several times, and I think he's going to be a massive fucking star. So I never want to say that the character got in the way, because truthfully, what I believe happened, and again, spoilers, is that I believe that he couldn't pull the answers. He had more knowledge than he was able to pull. He might have been in his head for different reasons. We're in quarantine. It's a weird time. And yeah, he just wasn't able to pull them. Also, it's really hard to go up against Ben Bateman, who's a fucking beast, and played a perfect game. How do you fight that? He played a perfect game. Unless you want to play a perfect game, he's going to play a perfect game. Even if the guy had done better, he still would have not succeeded there. However, Jake says he said it's the first time his character actually affected his gameplay. I'm sure it did, because he wasn't able to pull things. But I do think the character work is important. But I do think it's important to keep your head in the game as well. But I'm never going to knock him for doing character work, because he is such a great performer. What was a bummer for me, honestly, and hopefully, and I'm sure Christian knows this, and it had already been announced before the match. So what are you going to do? Not do that match? But it sucked that wasn't a good game. The match sucked. It wasn't fun to watch Ben annihilate Drew. And this was a really big deal. Kevin Smith, Chris Jericho. And on the undercard of that, the match sucked. So that sucks that leading into the biggest match the Schmoedown has ever had, we had that. Now, that's how you know this game is real. This game is not rigged. Because if this game was rigged for any reason or any way, then what we would have seen was a way closer match, because don't you believe that what they really would have wanted was a fucking sick-ass match leading into this? Because one of the big things about having Jericho and Smith in the league is to get fans to go to the league. Like, we want the Jericho and Smith fans to now become fans of the Schmoedown. So for people who are watching the first time, if the first thing they ever see is that Ben Drew match, just was not a great look. So I think that definitely is going to hurt it. Also, completely unrelated and with a bad stroke of luck, and I'm just being completely open with you guys right now, Chadwick Boseman passing that same night, with being such a member of the nerd community as he is, I think that really affected the match's longevity as well. Because if you didn't watch it live, there was a lot going on in the nerd space that night, and even I didn't feel comfortable tweeting about the Jericho Smith match because we had lost Chadwick Boseman. So I think that overshadowed it a little bit as well. Challenging to have it be that same night. Again, it's so not, I don't mean anything by that other than that didn't work in the Schmoedown's favor. Obviously, there are way bigger issues and way more sad things, but that was tough. That was tough. So I wish that before that match, it had been a fucking gangbusters match of really bomb-ass players, going toe-to-toe. And the truth is, picking Ben and Drew was smart, because that match could have been fucking gangbusters. Drew is amazing. Ben is amazing. And that could have been a sick-ass match. It just wasn't. And that happens sometimes. So that was a bummer. Moving on from that, the Chris Jericho match, Kevin Smith match, to me, hands down, is the match of the year. That match was phenomenal. Not just because it's two celebrities playing each other, but because what Kevin and Chris were able to bring to the table. They were everything you hope the Schmoedown can be. They were invested. They were entertaining. They were throwing shots at each other. They were movie trivia knowledgeable. Were they the two most knowledgeable players to ever step foot into MTS? No. But were they knowledgeable enough that they put on a hell of a fucking game? Absolutely. That wheel round was one of the most entertaining round twos we've ever seen. And then to take it into overtime, I mean, come on. What more could we ask for other than to win? I really wanted that victory, and I really feel like it's such a massive bummer that we didn't get it. But what I wanted more than that victory, not as a manager, as a fan of MTS and as a person who's participated in MTS for 6 years now, what I wanted was a bomb match. I wanted to make Christian and Mark proud. I wanted to make sure that I was adding value to the movie trivia Schmoedown. And I did those things. And I'm really proud that I was able to bring Chris Jericho into the league, and that Coy was able to bring Kevin Smith into the league. And shout out to Jen Sturger for planting the seeds with Jericho for me, because that was really helpful as well. But I did that, and to me, it paid off in spades, because that match was unfucking believable. It was unbelievable. I mean, what more could you want? What more could you want? Not only was it unbelievable, but clearly proved to be the headliner. I mean, what the fuck are we talking about? Co-headliners, my fucking ass. And yeah, I think that it was amazing to be a part of. I was so lucky to be able to become friends with Chris Jericho and to be able to manage him through this. He was a joy to manage. You guys, every time he said JTE rule or anything, I was just like, my heart is full. That he we drilled this. He listened to me. He went to multiple choice when he needed. He had that steal when he needed. It was fucking sick. So Yeah, I think it's a match for the ages, and I really believe it's the match of the year. And I hope that that's what people vote for, because come on, that was like so fucking sick. So sick. So sick. Jericho, totally excellent rule. Exactly. Exactly. And I can't wait to continue to manage him in the future. I know that he already wants to rematch Kevin Smith, and I feel like we need a round two. Nikki says, oh, hi, Nikki. Therese says that was also a better sudden death round than most matches. Totally. I mean, they extended the fuck out of that shit. It was dope. It was awesome. I was such a proud manager. And as a huge fan of both of them from honestly my entire life, what a honor and a privilege it was to be able to put on a show with them like that. Really, really, it was incredible. So I know that it didn't end up the way we wanted, and yeah, I could have used those points, and the Rockstars are struggling in the points department. That there's no hiding that. And I'm starting to strategize about what I'm going to do for next year. But for this match, man, how could anybody have asked for a better match? It was incredible. Incredible. So those are my thoughts on the Kevin Smith, Chris Jericho match. If you guys have questions, let me know in the super chat and the Streamlabs, etc. Let's see what's going on in the Streamlabs right now from Ryan White. Says, the match on Friday was one of, if not the most entertaining matches ever. Jericho did a great job and seems to really love you as a manager. Good luck to your on your auditions today. Looking forward to the World Girls tonight. Thank you. Yes, we have a World Girls stream tonight at 7 p.m. We are having Brennan on our show, which we're very excited about. Brennan is Doreena's husband, but he's also our sound guy. He just bought a shit ton of audio equipment for us, like a fucking boss. So yes, and he doesn't do a lot of stuff on camera, guys. So we're really excited to have him and talk to him about all the stuff that's going on. That will be great. Again, 7 o'clock on the World Girls YouTube page. If you missed it last night, we announced our entire September slate, which is going to be fire. I'll tweet it out from the World Girls Twitter as well. If you're not following that Twitter, it's one of the best Twitters in the biz right now. That shit is lit. So please go follow at the World Girls. We also hit our 1,000 subscribers. So it's a good time to be a World Girl, and it's a good time to be in the Whirlpool, World Friends, World Wolves. We're still figuring that shit out. All right. Also in here, Jake Yakoveta. Obsessed with you, Jake. And Jake, we have a surprise coming up for you, but it won't come for another month. Can't say more about it than that. Just a reminder to everyone to stay positive and be a good person. It doesn't cost anything to treat people with respect, except for what I paid for this Streamlabs. Jake, you're funny. I'm obsessed with you, Jake. And totally true. It never hurts to remind everybody to just be a good fucking person. And I don't know why I threw the word fucking in there, but I just did. It does not hurt. It does not hurt to be a good motherfucking person. Come on. Do your thing. It's actually really hard to be a bad person. You have to work really hard at that. That's challenging. Yeah. All right. So as I'm looking in here, super chat from Bear Hudson. This has been a bad year for Black American men and women. I mean, that's minimizing it for sure. Kobe Bryant, Chadwick Boseman, John Lewis asked everyone to get into good trouble and say Black Lives Matter and support Black people. Bear Hudson, thank you for asking, but you don't even have to. We are happy to. Everybody out loud on the count of 3 with the Black Lives Matter. 1, 2, 3. Black Lives Matter. Fuck yeah. Absolutely. And it's been a really shit year. It's been a shit few centuries, but yeah, also not an ideal year. So I'm with you. BLM, baby. Yep, people typing it in here. We'll keep saying it, and we'll keep thinking it, and we'll keep feeling it, and we'll keep fighting for it, because that's what we do and who we are here on Live at the Roxy. All right. Let's do a little bit of an advice corner. This is going to be a funny one before we get out of here. Not funny, like it's actually funny. It's actually kind of sad, but funny because of how I got there. So are you ever slightly intoxicated at 1 a.m. and you're like, don't forget this, and you write something in your notepad? This is what I wrote in my notepad. So I'll break it down, but this is what I woke up to. I wrote this at 1:25 in the morning. It says, "Are you comfortable with your relationships knowing it could all stop tomorrow? Did you say what you needed to say? Did you try what you needed to try? Did you love who you needed to love? And did you leave who you needed to leave?" So that's the full note. That's the full note. And honestly, I wrote it. And for many different reasons, but I think a lot of us think that we have more time than we have, or that we have unlimited time, or that we know that we have more time. And we just don't. We just don't know. And we make these life decisions as if we can take them back, or we can change our minds, or we can do something different years down the line. And if you want something now, but you're not quite ready for it, one day you'll be able to fight for it. And that's just not actually the truth. We don't know. We don't know that our future is promised. We don't know that people will still be there. We don't know that we'll be capable of doing what we thought we could. We don't know. So I've told you guys not to make rash decisions during this time, and I cannot express that enough. But on top of that, if you know there's something you need, and you know there's something you want, and the reason you're not doing it is because you're afraid or anything along those lines, you got to figure out a way to do it and not wait years to do it. You know, we're very lucky to wake up every morning, because for sure, one thing is for absolute sure, there's going to be a morning in which each of us doesn't wake up. Unless you're the one human being who ever on this planet gets to live forever. There's going to come a morning in which you don't wake up. And I hate thinking about it. And you guys know I'm like so afraid of death, but that morning's coming, and it might not come for years, and it might come sooner than you think, and it might come later than you think, but it does come. And so you need to make sure that every day you're doing what you need to do while you're on this planet, because we don't really get days off of life. You get days to relax, and that's valuable as hell, but you don't get to add on that day. Like, you can't be like, I'm taking today off and I'm going to tack it on till the end. Like what we used to do with snow days and when I was younger back east. You know, if you have to take the day off school, you don't just miss that day of school. You add it to the end of the school year when it's summertime. You don't get to do that with life. You don't get to just add days on later on. So you really got to remember that tomorrow is not promised. And I know that that's very cliche, but I've been thinking about that a lot recently, and how many people I feel like are living like tomorrow is promised. And that's sad and sucks, and is probably going to not go well for them. But it's their decision to make. It's anybody's decision to make. But as you guys are my friends, my advice to you is to remember that it's not. And so you got to make your moves, and you got to make them now. And again, don't be rash, and don't do something you're not sure of right now because it's quarantine. I'm just saying, if you know something, then you know. Hopefully that helps, guys. I know that it's a little vague, but my Roxy advice corners tend to be. As we are getting out of here, I will take another Streamlabs, and then again, World Girls tonight at 7 on the World Girls YouTube channel. Nikki Teresa in here. Hey, Nikki. The match was even more amazing than I imagined it being. I'm still not over Jericho spinning Kevin Smith and running the fucking board. Do what you got to do to win. Hashtag sexy numbers. Totally. That was sick that he did that. That was fucking sick. It's pretty awesome. All right, guys, we are getting out of here. Appreciate you guys being here. Thanks, Jake, for throwing this up. Go to the World Girls YouTube. It's fucking a lot of fun over there. And we're going to have fun tonight. Oh, PLD in the house. Better late than never. Love you all. Facts, baby. Facts. Happy that you're here, honey. All right, I'll see you guys tonight. And until then, stay safe. Be as good of a person as you can possibly be. Remember that tomorrow isn't promised. Jake, make your fucking bed 2 days in a row. Guys, Jake made his bed yesterday. It was sick. Lit City. Wish me luck on these auditions. Love you guys lots. And see you tonight on The World Girls.